I'm here with Lisa Stornes from Sevda Upper Secondary School, and we're talking about oral skills and how to enhance students' English oral skills, and particularly students who perhaps feel a bit frightened or don't like speaking in English. And you've used some really fascinating tools. Could you tell us a bit about how you work with these students?
Yes, of course. I teach English at an upper secondary school, like you say, and I also teach vocational students.
Mm-hmm.
And many of my vocational students are really, maybe they lack a bit of motivation for learning English. Mm-hmm. So I try to integrate tools into the classroom that will engage and motivate them. Now, these students are around 16 years old, mm-hmm. and we know from research and recent studies that a lot of 16-year-olds, I've got to say also many of them are boys, mm-hmm. Are very interested in playing computer games. So a tool that I use is actually ClassCraft, which is a digital role-playing game. Now, it's not like a computer game that you would just sort of sit down and play, but it kind of like adds game elements to your classroom, to everything that you do in the classroom. Mm-hmm. So, and the students then will build and develop their own avatar, and any learning activity that we do in the vocational English classroom is then rewarded with, for example, XP. Mm-hmm. Now, XP, my students are very familiar with XP, right. But XP is a term that you use in computer games, which means experience points. Right. And you need experience points to level up. And my students are very motivated by this kind of technology because they want to level up, because then they will get access to more equipment for their avatars. They can get access to more privileges that they can use, for example, by spending AP, which is action points. Mm-hmm. So this has really motivated my students, and I've noticed that it was kind of instantly as well, which was kind of fun to watch, because what ClassCraft did when I introduced this to my students, who then weren't so motivated, and they tried a lot of tactics to avoid speaking English in the classroom. And when I said to them, you will get XP for speaking English in the classroom, basically, most of my students now in vocational classes will walk into the classroom and switch automatically over to English. And a lot of them are, they're not beginners, but they will kind of use a little bit of Norwegian. But it has dramatically increased how much English these students now speak. So they've really been motivated by ClassCraft and by the game elements in ClassCraft, especially for my students as well. They like not only the XP that they can gain, they are also very motivated by, for example, they lose HP, mm-hmm. and all gamers will know what HP is, but it's health points. Mm-hmm. And health points is basically the life of your avatar, and they are very motivated by trying to keep that avatar alive, right. because it will have consequences for the whole team, mm-hmm. if that avatar loses all their HP. So this kind of like also shows students that not necessarily would speak a lot of English or participate in a lot of learning activities. They can easily navigate this system because it is recognizable as a game, right. for them.
So I'm just curious, how do you put this into a learning design then? I mean, what do you talk about?
Right, what I did with my class when I started using ClassCraft this year, which is like my second year using ClassCraft, mm-hmm. I basically walked into the classroom. This was like the first meeting with these students, and I told them that in this classroom it is not allowed to speak Norwegian. You are not allowed to listen to music while working on assignments. You are not allowed to ask to leave early, but you can earn the right to do these things. And then I showed them ClassCraft, and I had already decided who was going to be in the different teams, but I let them choose which kind of avatar they wanted to mm-hmm. create. Basically it was, like I said, it's kind of instant, the transformation in the group, because from then sort of like going from not really wanting to speak English to then sort of like they'll actually stand on the threshold on the way into the classroom, and they'll ask me in Norwegian, how long is it until class starts? And then I'll say, well, you can just come in, it's like 2 minutes away. And they'll actually step over the threshold and they'll say, hi Lisa, good morning, nice to see you. And then they're in English, because they know, and every time they pass me in the hallway, these students, they will speak to me in English, because, and then sort of shout at me as I go past to a different class, do we get XP for this? So it's really motivated them. And I also think that what you need to sort of do with ClassCraft is, because you will have students who are stronger or weaker learners in English, or more or less motivated, but ClassCraft can kind of be molded to suit everyone. So even the ones who perhaps are struggling a bit more with English can earn XP, and can navigate this system, because it goes on participation, helping each other, it's trying to speak English, all these kind of things that you want to see in your classroom. So you kind of like try to, or how would you say, you would reward positive learning activities and attempts, and not necessarily just results. So this is motivating for these kind of students.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lisa. It's really interesting.